Coming up on today's edition of Locked On Eagles, it's Locked On QB1 Playoff Edition. Can Jalen Hurts outgun the greatest quarterback of all time in Tom Brady on Sunday? I also rank Jalen Hurts compared to the other playoff quarterbacks. That's coming up next on your daily Philadelphia Eagles podcast, Locked On Eagles.
You are Locked On Eagles, your daily Philadelphia Eagles podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for making Locked On Eagles your first listen each and every day. Welcome in, Eagles fans, to a Friday edition of the show. It's episode number 5 of 5 this week. Download it into your phone wherever you get the podcast. We are available on all platforms as well as on YouTube and on Twitter at Locked On Birds, at DiBiase LOE, and at GC24_football. It's Friday, which means it's Locked On QB1. And this could be the final Locked On QB1 of the 2021 season, depending on what Jalen Hurts can do against the reigning Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Sunday as he goes head-to-head with the GOAT, with Tom Brady. What a massive opportunity for Hurts. As I said, today we're going to get into that matchup for Jalen. And where does he rank among playoff quarterbacks? Right now, there's two ways to answer that question. How would you rank them right now? Who would you want on your team to lead you through the 2022 playoffs? And then also for the long term. So we're going to get into that, but this is a massive opportunity for Jalen Hurts on Sunday, and you can feel it. Most people believe already that Jalen Hurts has done enough to be the quarterback, at least in 2022, right? I think it makes sense. And I said this on last Friday's show. Taking a team from 2-5 to 9-8 and making the playoffs in your first starting season at 23 years old. Jalen Hurts on Sunday will be the youngest quarterback in Eagles history to start a playoff game. That outdoes Donovan McNabb in his first full year as a starter and his second full year in 2000 when he also went up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jalen Hurts is younger. So I think already the resume he's put out for this season, and also considering the Eagles' options this offseason as well, it bodes very well for Hurts securing that job at least for all of next year. And it was super impressive what he was able to do this year, especially considering the insane amount of pressure on his shoulders heading into the season, a very short leash. You guys heard me lay it out for you last week with, just the different players the Eagles are trying to maybe upgrade at this position over Jalen, the short leash, having him throw so much early on in the year, the trade rumors about Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson, and trying to maybe fix things with Carson Wentz in the offseason and potentially trying to trade up for Zach Wilson. And he's already playing in Philadelphia. They didn't take him to be the franchise quarterback. You're 2-5, all of that laid out, and he still makes the playoffs. It's super impressive, and it should be enough to be the guy next year unless they can land a star quarterback in a trade. But at the same time, this is still a massive opportunity for Hurts in this playoff game to do more than that. Because, yes, he has made a lot of progress, too. It's not just that he took this team to the playoffs, right? That's impressive enough that should really put him in the conversation to be the franchise quarterback. But he did make a lot of progress this year in his development as a passer. That game against Washington 2 weeks ago was a significant step. It really was the next step where he had to keep that team in the game with his arm for a while. And he was scrambling to open things up for the passing game, but his ankle still was not at 100%. And so he had to make some big time throws inside the pocket, outside the pocket. The Eagles were not running the football to their standards. They still surpassed 100 yards on the day in DC, but it wasn't the dominant performance that they were used to. So that was a big step. But this is, again, a different kind of opportunity. It's an opportunity to rewrite the first half of the season where Jalen could not keep up with the star quarterbacks who were shredding this Eagles defense. And at that time, because of the holes the defense was putting the Eagles in, but the offense was putting them in holes as well because Nick Sirianni was asking Jalen to throw it, 70+% of the time. And he was going to have to, considering the success that Brady was having early this year, Patrick Mahomes, Derek Carr. and he wasn't able to keep up. He was failing in that regard. And maybe was it unfair to ask of Hurts to do that so early on in his first year as a starter, considering where he was as a passer? He was more raw. He has a longer way to go than a lot of prospects. Sure, but at the same time, he did have those opportunities to go toe to toe with star quarterbacks, and he wasn't able to do it. And Sunday's only one game, and that's not going to rewrite completely. It's not going to, I should say, it's not going to erase anything that's happened this season, but it really could go a long way in convincing this franchise that Jalen could be the guy beyond just 2022. Like, he's not just a placeholder for when you have better opportunities. I mean, what is a better opportunity to convince the Eagles you can be the guy than by going toe to toe with the greatest quarterback ever in your first playoff game? I mean, to me, I don't want to say any player is above the team, but is Jalen's performance on Sunday more important than a win for the long term? I don't want to say I'd rather have a loss where Hurts passes really well versus a win where they run it down Tampa's throats. They're opportunistic on defense and they get the W. I want the Eagles to make a deep playoff run. It's about the now, right now. But of course, at the same time, you always still do have to be thinking about the long term, especially when you're in the position the Eagles are, and they still are, even as a playoff team, they're still in a rebuild mode where they're trying to, when it comes to becoming a championship contender, right? And so what is best for that on Sunday? What's the best outcome? A win versus a loss might not be as crucial. It definitely is crucial, but if Jalen Hurts has his best passing performance on Sunday in a close loss, I can live with that. Am I rooting for that? No, I would rather have Jalen throw for 170 yards and a touchdown and the Eagles run for 200 plus and they get the W for sure. Again, that's what it's about on Sunday. But I am right outside of that. The other thing I'm most focused on is how Hurts does in this kind of situation once again, because he has not played a star quarterback since the first half of the season. And again, the results were pretty consistently disappointing throughout the season. You beat Tom Brady. Now that's an even more incredible opportunity. Your love forever. Just ask Nick Foles. Like, this is such a massive opportunity for Jalen. Again, does he have to get the win on Sunday? No. He has to pass really well. But at the same time, if you can beat Tom Brady, no matter how you do that, if you are a main reason for it, even if it's with your legs, yeah, Jalen on Sunday could do a lot for his stock long term with this organization. And again, I don't want to discredit that rushing. Like, they're going to need that more than anything from Hurts on Sunday to win the game. And it does look like he is close to 100% with that ankle, according to head coach Nick Sirianni. So, resting on Sunday or Saturday against Dallas really was awesome for Hurts to get fully healthy. He's now had, like a week and a half to really nurse that ankle and get back to full health. Because although he was extremely mobile still and, keeping plays alive in those two games against Washington and the game against New York, you could still tell his entire explosive ability was not there. But what a massive opportunity for Hurts to go up against the reigning Super Bowl champions and Tom Brady. And it could go the other way too. Like, this is an opportunity as well to make the Eagles start thinking in the opposite direction again, as they were earlier in the year. Like, if he has the passing performance he did against Tampa Bay earlier this season and they lose, again, it's not going to rewrite or erase his progress this season or anything that's happened, good or bad, but it would continue to confirm the question marks that do still surround him. So there is definitely a lot of pressure on Hurts on Sunday, and it doesn't really have to do with the win or loss, although that's only what Jalen is focused on, as always. It more so has to do with the individual performance, for sure, and the kind of situation the game does present itself with. This is Locked On QB1 on your daily Philadelphia Eagles podcast, Locked On Eagles. And guys, today's show is sponsored by OnlineGambling.com. We're all looking for an edge these days, and OnlineGambling.com has it for you. If you don't know already, it's a website dedicated to giving bettors the edge throughout the playoffs. They're providing you with the best NFL tips, news, and more to help make your bets as informed as ever. The experts at OnlineGambling.com have set me the challenge of putting my own knowledge to the test and coming up with my early Super Bowl predictions to see how much of an expert I really am. And so early on in the season, before the season, I should say, in August, I picked Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens to beat the San Francisco 49ers in the Super Bowl, a rematch of that 2012 game. But the reason for it, obviously, that can't stand with Baltimore not in the postseason. San Francisco made it. But the reason I had them in the championship game was I kind of foresaw a 2012 like scenario playing out where Alex Smith had them to a certain point, a little bit above 500, close to it. And then Colin Kaepernick blows up, gives that team an extra level of play at the most important position, and they make the Super Bowl. I kind of thought that could happen again with Trey Lance. But with Jimmy Garoppolo there, I still really like the 49ers, maybe even to beat Dallas on Saturday, right? On Saturday. But at the same time, I don't think Jimmy G's getting them to the Super Bowl. So my predictions now, and I'm sorry it does not include the Eagles, but I have the Buffalo Bills against the Green Bay Packers. Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, I think that is my prediction for the Super Bowl. So again, you can make your bets at onlinegambling.com, or you should get their advice because they give you the edge by providing the best and most trusted experience online all day, every day. That includes their OG tips section where you'll find their own Super Bowl picks as well as the inside track on how to beat the odds throughout the NFL playoffs. Make sure you visit onlinegambling.com/NFL for all the latest gambling news, tips, and info to beat the odds and give you the edge. And guys, today's show is also sponsored by Get Upside. It's an incredible app everyone who buys gas needs to know about. Our listeners are making up to 25 cents for every gallon of gas every time they fill up. Just download the free Get Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now and use the promo code Touchdown and get a bonus 25 cents per gallon on your first fill up. That's up to 50 cents in cash back. Don't pay full price at the pump anymore. Get cash back using Get Upside. Just download the app for free and do not pay full price at the pump anymore. These prices right now with gas are outrageous. Get 50 cents per gallon in cash back on your first tank. Some people who drive a lot are making as much as $200 to $300 a month in cash back, and there's no catch. The money gets added right to your account. You can cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Again, download the free Get Upside app and use the promo code Touchdown. This is Locked On Eagles. I'm Louis DiBiase, your host of the only daily Philadelphia Eagles podcast, available on all platforms. Today is Locked On QB1. We're diving into Jalen Hurts and the massive opportunity he has on Sunday against Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And, you know, obviously he's not playing Tom Brady. They're not going to be on the field at the same time. It's Hurts versus Tampa's defense. At the same time, like, it's Hurts versus Brady. If Brady is on his A game, can Jalen keep up in the passing attack? Obviously, they need to run and stay true to who they are. But I do feel like Sunday, they're going to need to be more balanced than they have been for the majority of this season, for sure. You don't want to throw as much as you did against Tampa Bay last time, but I don't know if they're going to be able to run as much as they have the second half of the season because I don't know if they're going to have a lead throughout this game. Now I want to get into, where does Jalen Hurts rank among playoff quarterbacks? I was thinking about this the other day. I love thinking about quarterbacks. It's my favorite position to look at and to evaluate, short term, long term. I'm looking at who the 2021 playoffs has to offer at the position in the AFC and the NFC. And I started to compare Jalen Hurts to these guys, as I typically do. And I was thinking about this question in two different ways. How many quarterbacks in the playoffs would you rather have Jalen Hurts over? Like, who would you take Jalen Hurts over among playoff quarterbacks? And there's, again, two different ways to answer this question. The first one is in the right now. Like, for this playoff run, regardless of the roster you have, if you needed one of these quarterbacks, if you had Jalen Hurts versus the field, how many guys are you saying, I need Jalen right now to win me this game? I like his chances better than the other guy. I counted 4. I would take Jalen Hurts right now to win me a playoff game over these 4 players. And it was pretty close. Like, Jalen definitely is in this tier. I would take Hurts over Big Ben. I would take him over Ryan Tannehill. I would take him over Jimmy Garoppolo. And I would take him over Mac Jones. And Big Ben has won 2 Super Bowls. He has consistently made the playoffs. This is a guy before that has thrown for over 4,000 yards. I think over 5,000 one time, if I'm not mistaken, in 2017. I'm not 100% sure on that. But Ryan Tannehill has made an AFC championship game. Jimmy Garoppolo has played in a Super Bowl. Mac Jones. Definitely taking Jalen Hurts over Mac Jones. Both of them, again, I feel like their ceilings are kind of capped, but Mac Jones even to another level, because Mac Jones is a better passer than Hurts, but not to the point where his lack of mobility is enough to overlook, and you would take Jones over Hurts. I think most people comparing those former Alabama quarterbacks would take Jalen Hurts over Mac Jones right now. So I would definitely take him over Mac. And then Big Ben, for sure, I would take Hurts over. I mean, Roethlisberger just is not what he once was. The Steelers made the playoffs with a lot of luck, with a lot of defense, and just being opportunistic. If I need to win one game, Big Ben still has that experience, and I still think he's a better passer than Jalen right now, but he is just not what he once was. The Steelers consistently are winning games scoring like 15 to 20 points, whereas, Hurts might not be that kind of passer yet, but the Eagles are consistently scoring 30 plus throughout the second half of the season. And although they're not playing great quarterbacks in those games, they've still been playing some pretty good defenses. And then Ryan Tannehill had a really good 2-year run in 2019 and 2020. But this year, he kind of went back to what he was with the Miami Dolphins, right? He has like 17, 18 passing touchdowns and around, double-digit interceptions. Just been kind of a placeholder. And without Derrick Henry, I have no idea how the Titans have been winning football games. It's kind of crazy that they were the 1 seed, very fluky, but at the same time, very 2021 for the NFL. But I would take Jalen over both of those guys, and then Mac Jones as well, and Jimmy Garoppolo too. I think it's pretty obvious that I would take Hurts over those 4. It definitely is close, but at the same time, I feel like Jalen would have the edge. Like if I need to win one playoff game right now against Tampa Bay or anybody, I would take Hurts. Now, when it comes to the future, I want to remove Brady from this equation. I want to remove Rodgers, even Matt Stafford, like anybody, 33 years old or older. I want to remove them from the equation. When it comes to the young quarterbacks that are in this playoff run, and Dak Prescott will count too. I'll throw Dak in there because, you can still have Dak for the long term. When it comes to like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray, Joe Burrow, Dak Prescott, Mac Jones, I think the only guy I would take Hurts over is Mac Jones. I would even still take, and I don't know what Eagles fans think about this, but I would still take the upside in the flashes I've seen this year of Trey Lance over Jalen. So I think it's obvious you would take Allen, Mahomes, Kyler, Burrow. I mean, these are elite quarterbacks that those teams are going to have for a decade plus. And I'm pretty jealous, honestly. I mean, those guys are incredible. Are they all as good of runners as Hurts? I think Allen is, and maybe Lance. Dak Prescott is up there too. But those guys, again, are on another level passing the football. And Kyler Murray. I mean, pretty much all of them are mobile, even Joe Burrow, except for Mac Jones. So, but they're just on another level as passers, and that's the ceiling of a true franchise quarterback. And they're all first round picks for a reason, outside of Dak Prescott. But I would definitely take Jalen over Mac Jones. So, do the Eagles have the worst quarterback in this playoff run? On Thursday with David Harrison of Locked On Buccaneers, we were talking about, are the Eagles the worst playoff team? Are they the ugly duckling of this group? I think a lot of people would say yes, but to me, I think they could beat anybody. I mean, they have as good a chance as anybody in this playoff. And Jalen Hurts, for the right now and for the future, like he still does have the advantage over some of these players. I don't think Jalen Hurts is the worst quarterback right now to have in the playoffs, and I don't think he's the worst one to have in the future. I think that's Mac Jones. And again, for the right now, I would take him over 4 quarterbacks, over Big Ben, over Tannehill, over Garoppolo, and over Mac Jones. Guys, this episode of Locked On QB1 on Locked On Eagles is sponsored by betonline.ag. BetOnline would like to wish you a happy new year and a new betting year as we continue our march to the playoffs and beyond. They remain the number 1 spot for all the best sports wagering action for 2022. New year in a new updated desktop and mobile website. To sign up today and receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit, just use our promo code LOCKEDON. That's LOCKEDON to get started. From football to basketball, hockey, boxing, and UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for 2022. BetOnline is the fastest and the easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts. Guys, today's show is also sponsored by Built Bar. It's the new year, so that means New Year's resolutions. If yours is about getting fit or eating healthier, make sure you include Built Bar in your plan. It's a protein bar, but it tastes just like a candy bar, maybe even better than some candy bars. Built Bar makes it easier to stick to your resolution because it tastes so good. It's all of the flavor and none of the guilt. It's covered in 100% real chocolate, and most Built Bars contain 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, 4 net carbs, and 17 grams of protein. Compare that to a candy bar, which usually has around 240 calories, 30 grams of sugar, and dozens of net carbs. Built Bar, again, all of the flavor and none of the guilt. Bring it to a movie theater. I wouldn't bat an eye. They taste just as good. They are definitely a snack food, but they're healthy. And there's so many flavors too to choose from. You got coconut almond, peanut butter brownie, raspberry, cookies and cream, salted caramel, mint brownie, and many more. Head to built.com and use the promo code LOCKED15. That's LOCKED15 and get 15% off your order. Again, use the promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off your order at built.com. All right, guys, this is Louis DiBiase wrapping up today's edition of Locked on QB1. I'm really excited about this opportunity for Jalen Hurts and just in general for the Eagles. And I'm not sure if Jalen's going to be the long-term quarterback. If I still had to put my money on it, I would say no. I think he would, if I had to put my money on who's the guy in 2022, I would say Hurts. But regardless, he does have a chance. And it's cool to see because they really haven't, the Eagles haven't had this opportunity since, I don't know, 2013. And even then, we were kind of skeptical of Foles' long-term standing with the team. The Eagles have not gotten to see a quarterback play in the playoffs for them that could be the future of the team in almost a decade. And again, Foles was the last one in 2013. And a lot of people were skeptical of Foles, even coming off that 27 touchdown and 2 interception regular season. Like he went into the season not supposed to be the guy. It was supposed to be Michael Vick still. And even after the season, like Jalen Hurts will probably deal with, the Eagles were weighing their options for sure. And so outside of Foles, I mean, Michael Vick in 2010, before that, it was Donovan McNabb, like the guy you knew was the future or was, you know, your franchise quarterback that was playing in the playoffs for you. It's crazy how often this team has needed backups to step up or, you know, bridge quarterbacks in the postseason. It really is incredible. And it's exciting to finally have a guy that's 23 years old, that's trending upwards, that's, you know, potentially the franchise quarterback in the playoffs. I mean, we wanted so badly all the time to see Carson Wentz on that run and kind of build upon, you know, go on his own run that Nick Foles didn't finish. And that's why 2019 was so exciting. And that's why it was so disappointing when Jadeveon Clowney took Carson out in that wild card game. I hope the same does not happen for Hurts. I really want to see him in the entirety of this game because it is such a huge opportunity. And it's exciting to see your potential franchise quarterback and just start to grow with him. Like this is the first step, your first playoff game at 23 against Tom Brady in Tampa Bay. And maybe you don't beat him, but you keep it close and you feel like you can build on that for the future rather than, you know, Nick Foles in 2018, you knew like this is the end of this run. Like we need to see what the franchise quarterback is going to do in these situations because this isn't really making any long-term progress. And so it's exciting to see Jalen have that opportunity on Sunday because if there's anyone that was built for this kind of game, it is Hurts. Against the GOAT and the reigning champs, I got news for you. It would phase a lot of 23-year-olds. It would phase the hell out of me. It's not going to phase Hurts one bit. He has been through this before at the college level, and just his demeanor, calmness, poise, confidence. You know, is he built for this when it comes to his on-field play as a passer? Maybe not, depending on how the game goes. But when it comes to the intangibles, he is built for the playoffs. And it's going to be intriguing to see if this Eagles team can keep it close and keep it from getting out of hand in the fourth quarter. They're going to have a chance, even for as bad as they played for 3 quarters earlier this year against Tampa Bay. They still only lost by 6. And, you know, that score is a little skewed, but they had a chance to stop Tampa Bay and get the ball back down by 6 points with an opportunity to win the game. They weren't able to do it, but you know, all this team needs is a chance down the stretch because Jalen Hurts, one thing he is really good at is being a clutch quarterback and not having the moment be too big for him. And I'm excited to see if in the fourth quarter, he will have an opportunity to either put the Eagles back into the football game or potentially win it. It's going to be so much fun to watch on Sunday. Guys, enjoy the playoff game. I know a lot of people are excited for the draft and, the long term of this team, but you never know when the playoffs are going to come around. I cover the Buffalo Bills as well, and I'm not saying a drought's coming for the Eagles. This is only the start, but the Bills went 17 years without making the playoffs. Enjoy them being one of the few teams left still playing into January. Enjoy the game on Sunday. We'll be back with the post-game show right after the game. Until then, thank you for downloading. Thank you for making Locked On Eagles your first listen and watch each and every day. And as always, let's go Birds.